These are actually, you will have somebody fix it. See, you brought some help. When Taylor
Awesome.
growing up,
Thank you.
Okay, I think this is long enough. We're close enough. Bishop Bolden, would you lead us in a word of prayer, please?
Father, Lord, we thank you for once again being able to serve this great city. We ask for the anointing during this meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Before the pledge, I'd like everybody to take a moment of silence and for regards for Mayor Swain's family and think of them for a moment. Let's have a moment of silence in remembrance of Mayor Swain. Thank you. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Of course, his funeral was yesterday, and he served the city a long time, and he was really a wonderful man. So, thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Deets. Bolden. Blevins. Sansing. Ray. Trailer. Twitty. Smith. Raines.
Here.
Mr. Mayor,
I'm not sure. I'm here.
I have one absent.
Okay. We have presentation of minutes of October 8th, and we have September 15th. Have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Got a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Do I hear anything about the consent agenda?
So moved.
second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Okay. So that brings us to ordinance 1709. I entertain a motion to place ordinance 1709 on first reading.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Councilmember Deets. Bolden.
Aye.
Blevins. Sansing. Ray. Trailer. Twitty. Smith. Raines.
Aye.
Ordinance 1709, an ordinance amending ordinance numbers 234, 402, 546, 1163, and 1470, providing renewal of a franchise agreement for cable communication services, providing for compensation through a franchise fee payable to the city and for other purposes.
This is according to a housekeeping thing we have to do when the contract comes up for renewal of their franchise agreement. They're at the max, they're paying it, and they're happy to be here. So any discussion on this? Any questions about the franchise agreement?
The franchise agreement doesn't keep anyone else from providing services.
No, it just makes them pay a fee that they collect.
The fee is actually a pass-through. They
It
collect
is.
the fee from me.
Yes, they do. If you use their service. Yeah, it's a pass-through, yes. Okay, any other discussion on it? Okay, I entertain motion approval on first reading and place on second reading. You got a motion second, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Yes.
Bolden.
Aye.
Blevins.
Aye.
Sansing.
Aye.
Ray. Trailer. Twitty. Smith. Raines.
Aye.
Okay. I entertain a motion to approve on second reading and place on third and final reading.
Second.
Got a motion saying any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Councilmember Deets.
Aye.
Bolden.
Aye.
Blevins.
Aye.
Sansing. Ray. Trailer.
Aye.
Twitty. Smith. Raines.
Aye.
Okay. I entertain a motion to approve and adopt 1709.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Deets. Bolden. Blevins. Sansing. Ray. Trailer.
Aye.
Twitty.
Aye.
Smith. Raines.
Aye.
Okay, there's non-emergency clause, so we've approved and adopted. It's just, hey, I think it expires in the year, correct? All right, so that brings us to ordinance 1708, and that's been requested to be pulled by the sponsor. So that brings us to discussion on Ripson Medical Subdivision. Councilmember Blevins.
Yeah. So, so last city council meeting, we had the two units, unit 2 and 3 that we brought up that was from a year and a half ago. I just after looking more into it, there were some things that were said that were not necessarily correct, and I just wanted to bring this up. So a year and a half ago, it was brought to our attention that we had these two lots of land, this unit 2 and 3 from Rebsamen, and we had an offer that was on the table for $290,000, and we approved that. Like, the deal was done. Like, they made the offer, we accepted it. You know, I said, hey, look, you know, we have this appraisal for $475,000, and at the time it was said, hey, look, if we were to renege on that deal, that it would be a black mark on the city. Like, basically we would be known as someone who just came back from this deal, and we paid, you know, $2,000 for the appraisal that we ended up doing. And then a year and a half later, the gentleman comes back with his own appraisal, like his own $200 appraisal that I feel that we just accepted without any kind of deal, that went from $450,000 to $202,000. And at the time you said, the mayor said that the reason that this was so small is because they didn't take into account that the item could only be used for medical. Well, I contacted Larry Dupree, who, by the way, has been an appraiser for decades.
Oh, yeah. No,
And
he
he
will.
said 100% that he took all of that into consideration.
Okay.
And also, you know, it was said the whole reason they needed to move was because they ran out of room. Well, I mean, I guess that's technically true, because whenever you did the deal with Unity Health, that none of us really got to know about because it was all done on your own, you gave the building that they were in away. You gave the building away to Unity Health.
Okay, what are
So
we
they
talking-
had to
okay,
choose.
I didn't do anything. The hospital board decided to do
Okay.
that. I didn't do anything. Remember that. The hospital board is not public money. It is a 501c3 private entity that's governed by its board. I just happen to be on the board.
When you read the minutes from the hospital board, like, you took full credit for it. That's what I'm saying. So it was,
Well,
it may have been the board, but
I
you were the
was
chairman, and
the
you were the
board.
one that pushed all of it,
I'm the
okay?
one that recruited you.
Okay, then don't say that you weren't the one that did it, like, when you were the one that brought it to that.
But I had no power to do anything, just like I don't here.
I'm just saying that
What are you
we took,
saying? I mean,
I don't understand why we
the city
just
did not
took,
pay for Larry
Guys, we had the
Dupree's.
debate last night. Can we just?
I just,
Go on with business?
well, it wasn't a debate. I'm just trying to figure out why we took an appraisal that came out of nowhere for a deal that we had already accomplished and already finished a year and a half ago, and ended up selling the land for, again, like 40% of the value that was given by the appraiser that we've used forever and a day, and from another appraiser that just came out of nowhere. I'm just kind of wondering why a year and a half later, a second appraisal, you know, Councilmember Dietz said in a meeting that we ended up having that commercial property was even more than it was back then, even though it had a limitation. I'm just trying to figure out why we took the extremely low, why we sold it for $100,000 cheaper than the deal that we had already had a year and a half ago. That's all I want to know.
Well, that's old
We
business.
disposed of the property already.
We've received the check, we signed the deed, and they filed it with.
So did you not sign the deed a year and a half ago? When
I
the
didn't
deal was-
sign the contract here, and I signed nothing until just this last time. This was the first time I signed anything regarding us selling that property.
I mean,
They made an
that quick
offer,
of a-
we never had a contract.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out why we took such a huge hit, especially after we already had a deal in place. That's all. That's my question. I just want to know why we took a deal.
Councilmember Deeds.
Well, Brian, in appraising, appraisal is only worth what someone's willing to pay for, willing buyer and willing seller.
But they
Had this
offered.
property for 2004, sitting on it. It's medical use only. So how long do we want to keep sitting on it when we can have money in our coffers?
They made the offer and we accepted it a year and a half ago. So why the second?
They
Why
withdraw
the
offers
second?
all the time. People make offers and withdraw them all the time. And that's the way real estate is. Commercial's really bad. A deal closes when the seller signs the deed and gets their money. That's when it closes. So what we did was took property that we're sitting on, maintaining, and turned it into cash that we can use for something else, which benefits the city.
again, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying the deal was already voted on. They already brought the proposal. They brought it up and we accepted it. And then now a year and a half later, they came with a second appraisal that we just automatically accepted from somebody that we didn't do business with. We didn't even compare the two to find out what the difference was. I'm just kind of curious about it, that's all.
Well, hopefully we'll have.
I just want to know why we keep taking L's on selling property. I don't understand.
Ryan, if you get something for nothing and you get $200,000, I don't think that's a loss.
Well, why don't we
I'd
just
take
wait
it all
a
day
year and
long.
give it to them for free?
No,
I mean,
because
we're already lowering the price. Like, why don't we just wait a year and give it to them for free then, if that's the case?
well, I would if you want to know if they're going to put a building in there worth about $1 million to bring business to Jacksonville, because we need to bring business to Jacksonville. If we don't sell anything that we got and make it available, you're not going to get business to Jacksonville.
Again, none of that is what's in question. What's in question is they already gave us a deal. We accepted it. I'm just wondering why we didn't question a second deal a year and a half later. And it was immediately signed. I don't know. Again, that's what my question is.
Motion to end discussion.
Second.
Okay. How about announcements? Do we need to vote on the
Oh, no,
motion?
we got it.
Okay. All in favor of ending the discussion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Okay. How about announcements, trunk or treat?
Wait, can we
31st?
talk, can I ask something before we
Sure.
do announcements? I need to ask Cheryl a question. At our last council meeting, we talked about when we would start budget meetings. Do we have any dates on that?
Okay. I do not have any budget meetings scheduled as of this time and date. I am waiting on getting some more personnel salary information to be put into our spreadsheets. And it's probably going to be Tuesday before I get that information all entered and everything. But I'm looking at like maybe November the 1st through the 7th, setting up meetings in that time frame. But I will send out as soon as I can get with the directors and find out when they can meet, and I'll type up a schedule and send it out to all of the city council and the press.
Okay.
So that y'all will know what departments are meeting and all of that, like I did last year.
I appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay. Anything else before we have, yes, sir?
I just have a quick question. At the end of the last city council meeting, we actually had a couple people that when they were walking out, they tripped and fell because of how dark it was outside. I don't know if there's anything we do about getting some lights outside the front door, because it is actually, like, you can't really see anything when we ended up leaving. And there was, like I said, there's people that were here that actually tripped and probably could have hurt themselves pretty bad because there was no lights out there. And I also think that we should probably do something as well about the police department. I don't know if you drive out there to where the police department is at night, but I mean, it's pretty scary at night is what I'm trying to say. I think we need to get some lights or keep the lights on a little longer out there.
Is there a reason why we don't have lights at our police department and out front here? Is there a reason?
I have no idea.
That's a
Yeah, no one's ever asked me, so I'll look into it. Adam, let's have a talk about it. Okay?
Well, I've never known it to be as dark. I was one of the ones that tripped on the flower bed out there, actually.
Okay.
I thought about
Yeah,
that. But it was
Since I
extremely.
never go
Don't
that
say
way.
nothing. Don't say nothing. You weren't talking. And the police department, I did call Brett one evening when I drove back in town, and I asked him why there wasn't any lights on. He said, I don't know, I'll have to check into that. It was dark. I mean, you could.
It is dark, yeah. I've been over there.
Yeah.
I don't know if they shut off at a certain time. It's just something, let's talk about it next week, okay, Adam?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Trunk or treat 31st. Anything else we need to discuss this meeting?
Karaoke at the senior center.
Oh, yeah,
Friday night.
Friday. Is it 6?
First and third, yes, at 6 o'clock, first and third Friday of the month. And it's
And Reedy tomorrow
Right after the
night
city
at
council meeting, there you
football
go.
Next day.
game.
It's the Friday after city council, that'll be easy to remember.
Rotary's doing something, running the concession, yeah, running the concession for, for the visitors concession, a good thing, yeah. So, support our Titans. Anything else? All right, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Get a second? We're adjourned.
Mark this down. I can go today.